Hello everybody, this is Girthquake here, and today we're going to talk about Mandingo Moze, which is my take on Bloodletter Moze. Bloodletter being one of the most misunderstood class mods out there, often seen as a survivability class mod. What it really is a damage class mod. It does damage. It will do damage through amps. Amps and a subsequent well put together skill tree will allow us to take a small amount of gun damage and turn it into a very large amount of gun damage. And a way to make that even better is to slow down and ensure that all of your shots are amped. How do you make sure they're all amped? Like I said, slow down, shoot less. Why would you shoot a lot when you could shoot a little and get the same job done? Rocket launchers, heavy weaponry. Shoot less, kill more. Moze loves them. Short Fuse loves them. Amp loves them. Match made in paradise, if you ask me. This combined with the Urad anointment means you get good single target damage that turns into area of effect damage, wiping out an entire arena. Moze is the queen of radsplosions. She loves them. So we apply this Urad anointment to all of these rockets that get this lovely amp damage. And then, well, everyone just sort of dies. There's also the Toboggan here. And guess what? This amp multiplies that amp. They don't add. It's better. They multiply. So, all of these things together mean you really don't need much gun damage from skill tree. You can invest in other places. Other places being purple tree for radsplosions, blue tree for short fuse, green tree for healing. You don't need to invest in red tree in this build. Not at all. It's unneeded. It's inefficient, I said. On top of that further, cryo grenades are funny. Cryo grenades play extremely nicely with dot builds. And what a radsplosion build in its core is a dot build. The way this works is by applying the cryo efficiency as the multiplier to the dot instead of the typical listed dot. This recurring hex will apply a base dot of over 100,000 just from the Urad anointment and the fact that it's cryo. Don't ask me why. It's a little bit of funniness with the way weapon cards behave with cryo efficiency. It gets complicated, but just know, if you want to spread radiation dots, you want cryo grenades. That is how it's done, either through the ASE 50 anointment or Urad. Urad is very efficient at it because it's just up all the time due to the nature of this build. So all of this together equals out to some great area clear. How does it do it? Like I said, amps all multiply. We have single projectile rockets, which typically rockets aren't impacted very much by multiple projectiles. They don't receive much of a negative damage modifier. However, where Moze really wants the single projectile is overkill, and you will be overkilling things with this. It is undoubtedly going to be at its maximum all the time. And because of the way amps mix with overkill, you want that. You want as much overkill into your projectile as possible because that adds further to the dot. Overkill is an on-shot multiplier which contributes to the dot. So again, slow firing, single projectile, Urad weapons are how this build shines. This is the gear I use, mostly rocket launchers. That's what you're going to see. Cryo rocket launchers because of superior firepower, and these are radiation because I like them. No other reason. Yellowcake, love it. Best of all time. Go whatever you want to call it. Yellowcake. It's that. So it's really up to you which launcher you want to use. It doesn't matter. They're all great. I mean, you can see over here, if my game would allow me to, that I have a lot of launchers here. There's Major Kong. It should be just fucking crazy. That's what its name is. Crazy Kong. Because it's stupid. Clairvoyance. Queen's Call, King's Call. Herald it defies Moze logic. It's not single projectile. It doesn't mix or jive with what I said. But it's stupid. It's a little baby rocket launcher. Craps counts as single projectile. You get the picture. Rocket launchers with single projectile of any sort, or weapons that have very high base damage. ASMD. The orb is 7 times damage. So yeah, counts. On top of that, there's a few shields you can mix into it. Mana Well does great. I have a triple amp here. This is a lot. You shouldn't even consider triple amp a reality. Myself and Stone Swan have looked at a lot of Mana Wells, and neither of us have ever seen a triple amp. So this basically doesn't exist to console players, just so everybody's aware. Version 0.M is my go-to shield. I use a radiation one to give my radiation rocket launchers a little bit of a bump from Harmonious Havoc. It's really not needed. It doesn't make much of a difference. Infernal Wish. Infernal Wish with amp parts can be strong. It is not as strong as a 0M when it comes to most rocket launchers. However, the Hive and the Plague Bearer get along very nicely with the Infernal Wish. But when it comes to your short fuse math between splitting the overkill for your radsplosions and splitting the overkill for your short fuse itself, just stick with the 0M. But just know that the Infernal Wish absolutely has its applications. It has a spot in any build, just as the Mana Well does. You don't need a triple amp Mana Well, by the way. I just have it because I have a save editor. Haha. So overall, that's the basis of the weaponry. Again, single projectile, Urad weapons. I also have a 150/90 kick charger here just for the funny, gotta drop a one shot on True Hag of Fervor. This is what you want to pull out. You don't need Urad for that. That's just, it's a niche application. You really don't use 150/90 in most applications for Moze. Most things don't survive the initial hit. So other than that, time to get into the skill tree. Okay, so getting right into Blue Tree. First and foremost, this is a build where Cub will be blowing himself up. He really doesn't do much, and I don't want him to apply his own radsplosions to anything in any way, shape, or form, because that'll reduce my damage output. So he gets blown up with the V35s. V35 with Torque Cross Promotion will make short work of him. So moving down, Fire in the Skagden, first off on most builds. 465% bonus damage, not 15%. That's a lie. Mayhem scaled. Moving down, Torque Cross Promotion, huge. Take it. Just, it's something you got to learn to work around. The amount of ad clear that this allows you to do with just a few shots is enormous. Just take it. Stainless Steel Bear. This is just skill damage. Skill damage boosts Skagden and Big Surplus. Just take it. Means of Destruction. Means of Destruction is what allows you to maintain your rockets, because typically it's not that great for ammo regeneration, but because we're not firing a lot or quickly, Means of Destruction can actually shine. On top of that, it allows you to regen with things like the Yellowcake. You can blow through your ammo with the Hive, pull out a Yellowcake. Means of Destruction will get you filled up while you use the Yellowcake, because who doesn't love cake? Moving down the tree, pull the Holy Pin. Again, does not work for Hex Beams. Only the explosions. It's just to move down the tree. Auto Bear, I would take it if I could, but we're blowing Cub up, so it's useless here. But if you are not blowing Cub up, you should be taking this skill, always. Vampire, not very useful. It's not that great of a skill. It doesn't do nearly as much as people would actually hope. However, you're not sprinting when you're sliding. Seems obvious, but it's nice to have a little bit of extra healing here. So, and we also have to move down the tree, and I'm not wasting it on this. Moving down to the last, always take to the last if you're here. There's no reason not to. It's helpful, and you also get the 25 on throw anointment when you're down. Short fuse. Short fuse is Mo's gun builds. It's all of it. It's what she does. She short fuses things. Just always take this. This is stupid damage, Gonga damage, big Gonga damage. Short fuse, yes. Always. Okay, so moving on to Red Tree, and like I said, I do not invest very much in it. 5 points here, 5 points here, and 2 points here. The additional points you see in this are from my class mod. I get it to 5 with my class mod because that gives me a little bit of extra shield capacity, but otherwise it's not doing anything for me. It's really not, because everything I'm skipping out at the bottom here is just gun damage. I have 2 points for my class mod in Phalanx Doctrine just to increase my shield capacity. That's it. It helps with my survivability, nothing more. I don't need the gun damage. So moving on, this green tree is pretty standard. Cloud of Lead is great. The best ammo mitigation tool she has. Stoke the Embers, great. Redistribution and Scrappy, these really don't do a ton. They're just there. It's whatever. Russian Offensive is what you need, though. This is Moze's strongest healing skill by far. No contest ever. period. Get it. You need it for Bloodletter. It's the core of her Bloodletter build. It allows her to refill her amp with the recurring hexes that we are throwing. Efficient. That is the name of the game, and that is what we do here. Efficiently healing to constantly have amp because of this skill right here. Moving on to Purple Tree. Purple Tree is what allows us to do the big funny radsplosions. They are loud, they're stinky, and they make neat noises that we all love to hear. And that comes from superior firepower and a little bit of big surplus. It helps it too, but mostly superior firepower. So this is status damage and cryo damage. A lot of people tend to forget about the status damage, and that is why the radsplosions are as strong as they are. The cryo damage is just a bonus. That just doubles our cryo rocket damage output. So, I mean, what's not to love about this skill? This skill makes the whole rest of the tree worth it. Even if you didn't need any of these skills, none of these, superior firepower makes the entire tree worth it. But guess what? These skills are great too, sorry. Big surplus. It's just fire in the Skag Den that can crit. It's even better than Skag Den. So, yeah, great. This is just damage for Iron Cub. It does very little. He will be blowing himself up. Remember that. However, you might as well give him a little bit of extra damage so when he goes out there and blows himself up, he probably takes an enemy with him. Harmonious Havoc, little bit extra gun damage, not necessary. This is not doing a whole lot because you are not going to be running one element for everything. You're always going to have a cryo grenade. Your shield, whatever. Pick your element, doesn't matter. And you'll be swapping around from your rockets. And on top of that, you know, even at its max, if you were to go with all your gear slots for Harmonious Havocs to mix and jive together because of it, that's still only 60% gun damage. Not worth it. Biofuel healing, this is just to move down the tree. This is just to move down the tree, but it is more helpful than this. All because of this. The whole tree is because of this. So basically, this tree can be thought of as big surplus, superior firepower, with some extra gravy. That's really it. Because again, we're nuking Cub. Give him baby nukes. It's apt. He spreads his own little radiation dot on top of what you're doing. And that's it. So that's their skill tree. It's pretty straightforward. Again, we are not investing in Red Tree. Use the class mod to do it. And instead, we're going to invest in Purple Tree and make the radsplosions great again. Mandingo Moze, everybody. Here's some gameplay. And that is Mandingo Moze, a never-ending supply of rockets and radiation. She will take the most challenging content the game has on offer and kind of just makes it feel like a run through Athenas. But if you have any Borderlands questions, if you need a mechanic explained more in depth than I did in the video, if you just want to pick up a save file, if you are just looking for a social space to talk, if you just want to post pictures of your pets, there's a link for my Discord in the description to this video. Some of the community's top players and fastest players and biggest brains hang out in there with us. So they are ready to help you answer any questions. I am here to answer any Moze questions. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.